Minasan, Okarina-sai, today a pretty One-san who is very gifted in the music department, but she just can't seem to catch a break. And it seems fate really isn't on her side. Satomi Akesaka, born January 2nd, 1988 in Saitama, currently affiliated with Amuletto. When Satomi was 3 years old, she spent half a year over in Indonesia with her family, and then a few years later, she started playing piano at the age of 5, and studied very hard until she was 15, also having lots of experience in classical music. Satomi got her start in show business in 2001 at the age of 13, when she won the Idol Grand Prix in an idol contest sponsored by the manga magazine Nakayoshi. She became an event character for the anime Tokyo Mew Mew by joining the group Mew 5 and becoming a part of the Spacecraft Agency. In 2002, the Mew 5 group disbanded. Around this time, however, she became a member of Non-Show Kids, a sister group to Minami Aoyama Shoujo Kage Kidan, a all-female theater troupe from the Minato Ward in Tokyo. She would stick with this group up until 2004, where her voice acting career began at the age of 16, with a named role of Futaba in Koi Kaze. Next year in 2005, she doubled her roles, voicing Nami in Mushishi, and the slightly more relevant Miho in Suzuka. She also became a member of the idol group known as Coach, a very shortly lived group, only being active for 1 year and having one single, a double release of Start Line and Blue Field, the opening and ending of Suzuka. Then she was actually in 2 musicals based off of manga, one for School Rumble and for Galaxy Angel, which she'll actually have a role in the anime. In 2006, where her roles doubled yet again, Nano Nano Pudding, great name by the way, in Galaxy Angel. There's also Aiko in Renkin Sankyu Magical, Tsubaki in Himawari, and then her first fan favorite character, Chrome Dokuro, in Hitman Reborn. This was also probably around the time that she was graduating high school. On to 2007, she will start to average 5 or so new roles each year, but I'll try to just mention 2 or so for each, because her resume is actually pretty big, even though most of the roles are kind of small. But the 2 big ones for this year would be Matsuri Haragi in Lucky Star, one of the older sisters to the twins, and Suzushiro in Idolmaster, though not the Idolmaster. Well, it's still Imus, but this is their weird mecha spin-off, and her character is completely original to this series, with most of the other cast being idols from the regular Imus, but with different voices. In 2008, the only thing worth mentioning would be Kuno in Sekirei, which is peak trash degen. In 2009, she had Mila in Guin Saga and Ichikawa in Umi Monogatari, which has no relation to the very popular Monogatari series. This year, her alongside the 4 other hosts of the Cho radio program formed a little unit known as Cho Raji Girls. The radio program started in 2008 and ended in 2010, but the only single they had released in this year of 2009. Also, shoutouts to Yuka Iguchi also being in this unit. Satomi, though, was in yet another group known as Friends, which actually disbanded this year. Not quite sure when they started though, couldn't find any info on them, especially since it's such a generic name. 2010, in Quasar Stigmata, she voiced Lulu. In Mitsudomoe, she voiced Futaba, her second time voicing a character with this name. And in Milky Homes, she voiced Arsene. Nice, shoutouts to Persona. And now 2011 is a really big year for her. She transferred over to Amuletto Agency, the one she is still with to this day. And she voiced Kanon in Pretty Rhythm Aurora Dream, Ming Yang in Makin Ki, and also a lead of Kurusu in the tennis show Soft Denny. Akesaka would also voice Ayasu in Battle Girls Time Paradox, something I would usually skip over as it's pretty unknown. But with this show, her and other cast members, including Mami Maria Issei, would form a unit known as Tenka Tori Tai. But I'm sure you know the deal by now, one single, which was the opening for the anime, that being Kagero. One more big career thing for her though, she released her first single, Akebon, on my birthday actually, under the label Sony Music Entertainment. Apparently the 2 songs featured on the single were used as opening themes for her own TV show, that being Satomi Akesaka no Aketere. But that's actually the only song she has ever released, as she would eventually join a band and focus on that. And then, well, we'll get there. Before that, the last thing for this year, I saw one source saying that she released a digital photo book titled Shashinshu Yamanabe, but I just can't find it anywhere, so take that as you will. Now 2012, the Year of the Dragon, which is her zodiac, and I'm not realizing we're actually in Year of the Dragon right now as I record this, that's pretty cool too. She would voice Watanabe in the horror series Another, also voicing Assam in Girls und Panzer, and even an unnamed moderator in the first season of Sword Art Online. 2013 is when I'd say she really starts to get roles in well-known shows, well, for a little bit at least, like Haru in Mushibugyo, Taiko in Coppelion, Hinasato in Tesagure, and Shizaki in Data Life. In 2014, she began her role of Rena in the Wake Up Girls series, hell yeah. Also Ayu in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, double hell yeah. And of course, her most popular character by far, the main villain of Akame ga Kill, as Death. Super hell yeah, that's Dami Mami right there. And in 2015, she got to voice the twins Karuha and Kazuha in Noragami, then also Soldier Mari in Gate, and Mutsuki in Danchigai. 2016, she has Asuna in Occult 9, Taruha in Girls Beyond the Wasteland, another Dami Mami of Momoko in Nanbaka, and the big one, the one most of you know her for, Rinko Shirokane in Bangdream, becoming the key player for the live-action band Roselia, though her anime debut wouldn't be until next year in 2017, where she also reprised her role of Miho from Suzuka in the sequel Fuka, and also having the role of Ruru in Idol Incidents. 2018, getting kind of close to the end here, she joined her second multimedia franchise, Umamusume Prettyderby, as one of the announcers, Misato Akesaka. So close to having the same last name. So close. Aside from this, she was in the volleyball show Harukana Receive as Yona. Also Muyo and Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation as Ryo, in K-Project's fourth movie as Kisa, and a lead of Kokoro in Homote House. But this year would also be her final year as Rinko with Roselia, which is like such a short time, really sucks, but she had to step down from the role due to having sudden hearing loss twice, meaning all those loud instruments during the band's shows just wasn't good for her anymore, having her final appearance with the girls at their fan meet in September, and her role would be taken over by Kanan Shizaki. Now, 2019, all she really had was Season 3 of Date Alive, reprising her role of Shizaki, very odd coincidence there. Also, she did voice a character named Kanan in Pretty Rhythm, so that's a double weird coincidence there. Kanan is a pretty common name though, so. Anyway, Satomi 2019, I assume most of this year was her recovering and trying to figure out how to proceed with her career. The Roselia lives were definitely too much for her since the gothic rock music is very loud, but she'd be able to keep appearing at Prettyderby lives, so that's really good. Always happy to see her beautiful face. She has that like perfect blend of mature beauty and then cute, sweet innocence as well. Let's move on to 2020, where she'll mostly be taking it easy from here on out, only having Marguerite in Shadowverse and Makoto in Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. Then 2021, her only new role was Grace in Vivi. Good show though, so that's pretty cool. And 2022 was nothing too big. Tokiwa in Musashino, a spin-off to Orara no Usagi-chan, where she began voicing back in 2015, but also the mother of the character She in Do It Yourself, and Broca Days in Reiwa Digi Karet. Probably said that character's name wrong and the show as well, but she also had her 10th anniversary memorial photo book. Praise the Lords. 2023, last year, she actually had a fair amount of new roles, probably her most since 2019, though it's mostly trash isekai. Iris in Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World for My Retirement, and Roa in Summoned to Another World for a second time. Then Honami in A Galaxy Next Door, but also her first song, kind of, in a long time, being featured on the track Prayer by Nightscream. Now for this year, another year of the dragon. Rest in peace Toriyama-san. So far, more trash isekai. Sicily in Fluffy Paradise. I'm already over this isekai stuff. Let's move on to the other things now. Having one episode or unnamed characters in shows like Shugokara, Kanagi, Concrete Revolutio, Million Arthur, Baka and Test, Shonen Maid, Asteroid in Love, Silver Spoon, Chaos Child, Human Lost, SSSS Dynazenon, 3 separate one-episode girls in Detective Conan, and Sword Art Online Season 2, as well as the Ordinal Scale movie. She has sang songs for a majority of the shows she's in, like Mitsu Domoe, Makinki, Tessagure, Mushibugyo, Soft Tenny, Danchigai, and Girls Beyond the Wasteland, all sang with other cast members, except for Danchigai, where she actually had the first ending theme all to herself. But also an insert song for Pipara, which she's not actually in at all. She is in Pretty Rhythm though, which is like kind of the same universe, so maybe there's a connection there that I'm just unaware of. As for foreign dubs, 4 decent children's properties as you can see here. Shadows to Transformers, that's pretty freaking cool. Her video game roles include, well, everything you can see here, Nothing Too Big, some usual stuff like Grand Blue Fantasy, Arc Knights, Kantai Collection, and of course Fate Grand Order, as well as voicing Rinko in Bangdream's Girls Band Party when the character was hers. Also Koyaka in Cinderella 9, which isn't listed in that picture that I showed, but it is listed on her agency profile, so that's good enough for me. But some of the more mainstream games she's in are Disgaea 5 and League of Legends. Concerts include quite a few things honestly. Let's start off with Roselia, being at all of their shows when she was a member, which was honestly only their first 3 lives and some fan meets. Then in the Wake Up Girls franchise, she was present for the 2016 Super Live and the 2017 Trinity Festa, With Prettyderby, she's been at many shows. Seems her first was back at their third, being there for both days, as well as 5 shows for their 4th tour and another 7 of their recently finished 5th tour. Lastly, over at Anisama in 2015 with her Tesagure co-stars, 2017 with Roselia, and 2022 with Prettyderby. You know, for someone who has a lot of bad luck with her musical groups, it's nice to see that she is still getting some decent action. Shoutouts to the genius that decided to make an idol series based off of real-life racehorses. So now let's move on to the fun facts. She's 160 centimeters or 5'2". She is only on Twitter X, but she does post daily. I did mention Esdeath being her most popular character by a lot. On my anime list, the character has 11,500 favorites, with Chrome from Reborn being her 2nd most popular at only 600 favorites, and Bandori's Rinko being her 3rd most popular at 300, and they are the only 3 worth mentioning. Shame that she doesn't have more well-known characters. Also a shame that she's just been doing trash anime lately, though work is work, I guess. Satomi's hobbies include using computers, drawing, reading, gaming, usually mystery solving or puzzle games, and sleeping, which is also one of her special skills according to her, and another skill of hers is having a perfect pitch. Her favorite food is umeboshi, and she loves animals, especially cats. Also the musician Shina Ringo. She dislikes heights, sea urchins, and insects. She uses contact lenses, and she has her driver's license. Also has done some modeling for LTA back in 2022 and 2023. When it comes to Bandori, Satomi was recruited by Kidani, the president of Bushiroad, to join Roselia simply by approaching her before a Milky Homes live event. She is also a voice provider for the UTAU Akeko, which is one of her nicknames. Oh, by the way, UTAU is a program developed to use WAV files to simulate singing. Speaking of Akeko, over the years, Satomi has actually been given quite a few nicknames, like Ojo, though I doubt she's actually been called that in a while, Akemi, which is basically close to the name Akemi that I love very much, shoutouts to Akemi Okamura, but there's also the more common Ake-chan and Ake-shan, and even Angelina apparently. Not sure if that's true, I only saw that mentioned on one site, but maybe it's a play on her being very angelic, though I feel she is totally the One-san who will very viciously scold you when you start to act up. And, well, I would like that very much. Kind of an odd way to end here, but your boy is thirsty, you know how it is. These ladies are goddesses that I worship very much. And with that, we have reached the ending. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something new. Please leave a like if you did enjoy. It really does help out. And please join me in the next one about a recently married lady who's kind of overlooked in my opinion. I look forward to seeing you there.